clicked my character.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are Dancers with Kobolds, and tonight we are playing the Demonplague. But before we begin, in the doobly-doo down below, please check out our link for our Extra Life, and also a link to our sister shows, and the Discord for the Heroes Wanted Collective of Shows. Now, without further ado, tonight I am joined by...
Hi, I'm Ian. I'll be playing Kevin Hillman, the human drunken monk courtier. Or no, not drunken monk. Sorry, whatever the gun monk is. Change.
Inside.
No, Kensai is I think is the weapon one.
It's like fire dancer or something.
You're a gun monk. Just leave it at that.
Gunkata!
All right, and I'm Lorne, and tonight I'm playing Fakalin Rothanal, the Shatterkai Bladesinger.
Ooh.
I am Brendan, and I will be playing Urag, the half-orc rogue.
Hi everyone, I'm Tara, and I shall be playing Hecate, the Elder Cleric of the Grave.
Thank you, everyone, for joining me this evening. Last time we left our heroes, we'd ended the first part of the campaign, or the first arc of the campaign of the Demonplague. You guys defeated the evil Ralakai, and the Star Elves, or their spirits, at their altar rewarded you with some handsome treasures. However, your fight was not over. Back in town, you had to fight a political fight. You discovered that one of the council members, Colinius Birthwitch, had murdered his rival ages ago and presided over his execution. Further, you had Tafina ran for mayor. And then Isparol, the village matron, was accused and arrested by Kadika Leborn, the noble rival, for murder, which she vehemently denies. However, the votes went down, and Tafina became mayor, and along with Kadra, Someth, and Palmine residing on the council. For this part, because we don't have Arcady with us, we will have Tafina slowly transition into the mayoral role and introduce Lorne's new character, and then introduce Lorne's new character. But it's been about a month since the end of the last campaign. What has everyone been doing?
Guess we were counting ballots first. Everyone, you know, that's written in for the Lord or for a fictional being, we count for Tafina.
Interesting.
Oh, it's a 30 Rock bit.
I know.
Hecate will just be doing, matronly things, hanging out with the church, giving out sermons, helping the sick and the poor and all that. The other matron has been freed at this point, because if not, she's going to also, work to, getting her free.
How would you free her?
I thought she was free in the church. What happened?
Well, she was arrested. I don't remember, getting her off the hook. I know she was, still being charged for murder. But, whatever I can do. They're asking for testimonies. I'll zone of truth her. Whatever we need to do to try and get her so she's free, so she's not imprisoned and sentenced to death for a crime that she said she didn't commit.
Yes, as a part of last session, Kadika said that basically Isparol did reveal to you that she used to be a servant in Safe Harbor.
Yes, I remember that, yes.
Yes. And one day, her version of the story is her lord murdered his wife and then committed suicide. However, she was spotted running away from the mansion and left town. because she feared of being accused of the murder. However,
Yes.
there was a warrant issued for her arrest because, naturally, she ran away.
Mm-hmm.
And Kadika claims to have been a witness to her running away as well.
Okay, so she's still being held for suspicion of murder?
At this point in time, yes, but it's been about a month.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone can get together and sort of brainstorm what sort of way you can get her out. Now, because Kadika didn't win at all, because you never supported him, you were never an ally with him, you know.
Yeah.
You made certain decisions to basically made him lose. So his position's a lot weaker than it was.
But isn't he the one accusing?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, now that his position is weaker than it was, his accusations may not hold up as well. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do whatever I can to bolster Isparel's words and undermine his accusations. Oh, we found out this about him, and you obviously don't trust him, kind of stuff like that. Like, you didn't vote for him, so why should you believe this?
And you claim you're not a bureaucrat.
Reg, how would you assist Hecate in this manner?
Well, I could always try to and I'll lean in close to Hecate so that there's no Arcady or Kevin. I could just get her out. Illegitimately.
She wouldn't be able to serve her congregation, and I think that would break her. As a last resort, I will keep it in mind.
Can I write up a bail form and give it to them?
Yes, you can.
There we go. That gets her out.
Isn't that against the rules?
No, bail is a common. I don't know. We've never discussed if bail is common in our system of laws, but apparently now it is.
Yes, it is. It's 1890s. Bail's been around for quite a while.
And she is a preacher.
Or not 1890s, like late 1800s.
So it'll have a lot of flowery language. We hereby declare that this accused has been released under their own recognizance due to a history of helping the community, the church, and blah, blah, blah.
Hecate is also going to try and make the argument that, whether she did or she didn't, she's basically like punishing herself. She's making retribution for her crime of running away by serving other people for the rest of her life. So you can kind of take that both ways. Like, if you think she's guilty of murder, she's spending her life serving others and saving others. Even if she's just guilty of running away, she's still serving her penance by spending the rest of her life serving others. Hecate will also make that argument. No matter how you slice it, she's paying penance.
That's very good. Anything else anyone can come up?
Kevin will caution against that because it makes her sound guilty.
Well, this is going to be like a grasping straws kind of thing. Like,
why don't we ask the mayor that we have political pull with?
I mean, he wouldn't want to abuse his position, but if there was a legal precedent that he could invoke and thus, still keep good with the masses that really just sort of took him on a slight majority, yeah, he would help, but he would do it only if it made sense.
I would say, based on that, given the background of this, you could call a legal review, and because no other than one or two people seeing her run away, there's no other actual evidence, and all evidence was destroyed in the flood. So there's no way to be sure under the law. So you can just sort of not charge her. You're not saying she's innocent. You're not saying she's guilty. You basically sort of do... We're gathering more evidence while she's out on her own recognizance.
Rescind temporarily or potentially rescind charges?
More just decline to prosecute. Due to lack of evidence. Does that make sense? That's a legal thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
If that's the best we can do, then... Because heck, you like to clear her name entirely, but if we can't do that...
That's what you can get done in about 3 weeks, is what I'm saying.
Alright, let's do that for now then. Work on the rest.
And with that, other than freeing Isperil and helping the sort of needy... Kevin, what are you doing for 3 weeks?
What? Oh, it's fall.
It feels like late summer. There's the odd day where it actually cools down and you think, oh, fall is coming, and the weather is getting back to normal, but then the next day you'll have this sudden shock of heat that just waves over the valley.
I guess then for the month we will prep and organize the town and get the bureaucracy working again, taxes being paid, getting refugees together to fix up roads between here and where we have them, things like that.
Okay.
So you're doing infrastructure work.
I am doing what I do in real life.
This is actually something I wanted to get to as a part of the transitioning of Tafina. Hold on, let me flip to it. But there are some infrastructure work you can decide to embark on as a party. Or support as a party. 1 second. Crap, Here
Make
it
sure
is.
there's water, those kind of things.
You could, there's a couple different things you could do. You could have try and resource building supplies. You could try and recruit law enforcement. Just something that's only infrastructure. You could build a wall.
Can we make the ghouls pay for it?
Why do we build the wall?
Yeah, that seems like a waste of resources right now.
Okay.
No. There's a reason we build the wall. We build the wall to keep the others out.
Basically,
Who are the others?
Knows that reference? 10 points.
I think we should build the wall to make the village great again.
this, to be fair to everyone, this is an actual part of the module that was released, I think, in 2014. So this is way before our current political climate.
And I'm referencing a Broadway show, so...
I thought you were referencing Game of Thrones. Building a wall to keep the others out.
Town.
What?
Hadestown.
Never heard of it.
Basically, picture the tale of Orpheus and Hades and Persephone and what's her name? I forget. Orpheus's bow. Where it's set in sort of a industrialized Michigan. Basically, it Hades has all these slaves and they're building a wall to keep the others out, but really it's just busy work to make them forget that they're toiling away.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to find that. Anyway, you could also get started on roads and building houses for the refugees. You could start building possible farms. Which direction would you like to go, or what would be the first thing you would look towards building?
We'll start a couple crews doing different things. So some will go out and make the road. Some will start If anybody has a history of farming, we'll get them out. Even though it's fall and it might get cold before things have a time to grow, they should at least start prepping and building, I guess, housing in town. So we'll have 3 teams. It's a 3-pronged approach. There's a
Okay.
big PowerPoint presentation with Kevin's up front with like cost effect figures and
And the mayor is going to want to focus more on getting food. We can always build temporary shelters very easily, tents, and gather firewood fairly reasonably, I think. So honestly, food is the major problem we have right now.
Is you are beginning to see your supplies start to dwindle. Now, leading up to week 3, Arcady gets a message from Stanislaw Severin, who's the head bureaucrat back home, and he actually heads out by himself to meet the ranging party of new bureaucrats that are coming in with significantly more food and supplies and other stuff. And they're all going to be helpers that help you. So this is where the strongholds and followers comes in. And in strongholds and followers, I'm going to give each one of you a chance to build. You get a chance to build based on your class, like your own sanctuary. Like, for example, Hecate, you can, like, upgrade the church here.
how about the tax office?
Nice.
You could build a bureaucratic center.
A tax office and town warehouse.
You want to build a tax office and a town warehouse.
Well, basically, I'm just building like a bureaucratic whatever to spread the bureaucracy in the north.
Spread the bureaucracy.
Well, there's so many peasants and simple folk up here that never even get birth certificates. Now
I
they
don't see why they need them.
Well, how will you know they were born?
They're there.
No,
Yeah,
legally.
they
That's not
exist.
existing is not legal evidence of one's existence. You need a document.
I
Kevin,
find
that's
it
stupid.
I find it a little more useful to not exist sometimes.
I'm gonna quickly write him up a birth certificate. When were you born? We'll just ballpark it.
I
You're
was
12.
born yesterday.
You're 12.
Does he know how half-orcs work? We
I
don't
think he knows
age.
how anyone works.
Don't age that quickly.
You're 12. See, it says right here.
Well, congratulations. You can't drink.
Also, I'm the
Damn
town's
sure
truant
against that.
officer. Back to class.
Can I see my birth certificate real quick?
You're gonna tear it up, aren't you?
Hecate
no.
is just face palming through all this.
Yes, I'll hand him his birth certificate. Now keep
I-
that safe. That's how you get stuff from the government.
I toss it into the nearest fire.
Oh, Kevin will look dejected.
I don't exist, Kevin.
No, I already added you to the tax roll here and the census there. I've updated your address and your permanent record that I've made. See? And I'll hold it up and hand it to you.
I don't have a name that exists in anything.
Oh, I thought you were going to burn the permanent record. That's why I handed it to you.
What is
Hecate is
this?
curious now. Are you speaking honestly or metaphorically?
Urag is just the newest name that I've taken.
Oh,
When
I
one
see.
moves from a place to another place, it might be good for reputation to not follow sometimes.
So I'm going to scratch out Ureg, put in John Smith, known aliases Ureg.
Yes, I went by John Smith for a time.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's a time.
Mr. Urag, there's not going to be anyone searching for you that might have to be dealt with by the constabulary, is there?
No.
I don't like that. ambiguousness of your tone. Can't really do much about it. Okay.
You could make him a police officer.
That would be ironic.
Don't you think?
All right, so that's what I'm going to build. What's everyone else going to build?
Ureg, what have you been doing for 3 weeks?
Keeping an ear to the ground. Anything that might be coming up, anything in the underground of this small, quiet town that might have come up in the past few weeks, I would keep an ear out for.
Refugee camps always have black markets.
I'm going to say, then give me 1 second. You hear word from, you go out drinking one night, and you hear word that someone has spotted frost giants roaming around the valley.
I want nothing to do with that. Frost giants are scary. I'll pass that on to my new friends, though.
You also hear that there is more bandit activity. You get the sense that word has gone out, that there's treasure underneath the ice and everyone's kind of weak, which has just sort of flooded bandits into the valley, making it even harder for people to survive and try and do what little trade they can. And you heard someone swear that they saw some sort of strange beast roaming the muds and the wastes, but they could not tell you what it was. And
So they
others
saw
have,
something strange. We don't know what it was.
yes, some sort of strange monster that looked confused and was hunting for something. You've also heard of people having strange dreams in the middle of the night and that they can't interpret, about a foul being chasing after them. They're all stressed and anxious dreams. You've also heard about the Z's going through the camps.
Oh, heck, yeah, we would want to help out with the disease thing.
All right,
There is no disease.
I will
We're
pass
the
that information.
greatest camp in the north. There is no disease, no pandemic. Everything's fantastic.
This was a fun campaign to start during this time period.
Yeah, it's almost called it's called the Demonplague or something like that.
Did not choose this on purpose. We started this way before.
We started this 6 or 7 months ago.
Yes, we did.
So when China first knew about this,
Didn't they know about it in November?
yeah, it was November, December.
Hecate, you notice that there are fevers and other strange ailments, not only in the camps, but they're starting in the regular town itself. There is one you start noticing in particular, because Urag has brought one or two of his contacts to you. It's one that you recognize as buttle fever.
Okay.
It happens after you drink putrid ale, wine, or some other liquor. And it's like a permanent hangover.
I will do my best to track down where people are getting most of their liquor and stuff from and purify it if I can.
What, when Ensign Kim had the sadness disease for breaking up with the alien
What?
in Voyager?
I don't understand.
What is
Sadness
this
disease?
nerdy stuff you are talking about?
Never mind.
We've just disappointed him.
Very much so.
Where is
All right, so
purify food and drink? There we go. Yes. I have access to it, so I will prepare it, and I will go forth and start purifying.
you remember Haranza from
Yes.
earlier in the adventure. And she is the owner of the local alehouse, and she's a dwarf woman. She lets you under strict secrecy purify all of her food and drink, but she will say, or let me get into my voice. I'll tell you, matron. There's a lot of people making moonshine in the camps and elsewhere and hiding it. I suspect they're drinking that stuff.
Oh, we are well aware of some of the moonshiners within the camp. We shall be paying them a visit as well. Don't you fret.
Good, because I hate to see good ale go to waste.
No, yours was just our first stop, as the people you're the most easily located and the people most congregate here. But the moonshiners shall all be visited in time as well.
And with that, you remember your old friend, Old Deuce.
Yep. Off to Old Deuce.
Old Deuce says, "Well, I don't drink so much. I was always very meticulous with my still. I kept it clean, I sterilized all my tools, and I never ever let anything like bottle fever infect my stash. However,
Not intentionally. That we understand. But things still happen even beyond the most strenuous of controls and cleaning rituals. This is simply a precaution to help all those affected. We are not saying it is coming from you. We are not saying you have done it intentionally or through any lack of protection or observation, but we are simply ensuring that everything is covered and no one is getting sick after this.
alright, well, you can, I have some extra stash hidden somewhere. You're welcome to purify that for all the help you've given me.
Thank you.
However, I'll give you the names of some dirtier moonshiners that I know are out in the camps, and hopefully, bit by bit, you can purify at least the current supply.
That would be most appreciated. So I will purify, take his notes, and start running off again.
Alright, you do that over the past few weeks.
Yep.
And Tafina, you will hear, as the new mayor, you will hear concerns over tainted water and the living conditions in the camps, causing respiratory colds and other diseases to just run rampant. Is there anything you would like to do about this?
Yes. I will institute a boil water advisory immediately and try and gain any spellcasters who have the ability to purify food and drink to again purify water reserves. Um,
Water reserve, boil water. That hits close to home.
Yeah. I will also try and set up basic filtering processes for all of our water systems. Won't be as effective because I'm not 100% certain how to do that off the top of my head. I know usually you use activated charcoal, which isn't easy. Beyond that, yeah, that's sort of it. I try and secure clean water sources. Has it been raining in the area, or is it sort of no longer the rainy season?
There's been a bit of rain on and off. You would know that this is sort of the far north. You would know, like, properly right now, you're getting into this world's December. And there should be, like, a fair bit of snow on the ground. And there is none.
So you're saying it's becoming winter.
It should be becoming winter, but it isn't.
It's entering the winter season, but it's not as temperate as normal winter. Okay. In that case, then I would set up rain catchers, assuming that the weather is going to remain warm for the foreseeable future. Uh, if there's any snow in the area or ice in the area, which I don't think there is because the glacier melted, right?
Glacier has melted. In fact, you had to deal with a lot of mudslides. Near the town is a river that you could utilize as well, along with rain catchers.
Okay. That would not be my most immediate engineering plan, but eventually I would create a what's the name of the waterway?
A dam.
Aqueduct. Aqueduct from the river to the city or to the village. But that's a 3-year plan. No, really, because it would take a lot of engineering feat, and we're not in the condition to be able to set it up yet. So, I'd send out people with barrels to secure river water, enough for a few days, and then purify it or boil it to try and make sure that it is perfectly drinkable.
Excellent. So far, these programs have helped suppress the amount of disease that's going on in the refugee camps, and overall, people are feeling a little bit more positive about the way things are going. It feels like there is a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel.
Hecate will also, sorry to interrupt, I just thought of this. Hecate will also kind of leave a standing order with the moonshiners, the more dirty ones. And she'll basically tell them IDGAF. Every time you make a batch, you send for me and I will come and purify it and not tell anybody about it. She is just determined to like not get anybody sick. So she's going to tell the moonshiners, when you make any batch, you come get me, I'll purify it, you sell it.
How bad do you have to be at moonshine to actually make stuff that makes you sick?
Actually, there's a lot that can go wrong.
Hecate. Why give them this purification service for free when we could charge them for it?
Church tithes are tax deductible.
Because if they have to pay for it, they'll be less likely to do it. And then more people are more likely to get sick.
Well, a few public service announcements about the ones unwilling to, procure your services. Could go
Are
a
you
long
sure you
way.
weren't a bureaucrat?
I'm sure.
Hecate will be willing to do that if she deals in good faith, right? She's a woman of the church. She deals in good faith. Anyone who doesn't do that, then yeah, she'll like basically put them on blast and be like, "Hey, you do this," kind of thing. But no, she's not willing to take money from them for it.
Wasted opportunities.
You could take, some grain or some potatoes to, feed the orphans.
That Hecate would be willing to do. If someone was to suggest that to her, she'll be more than happy to take food stuff to help feed the people, to like purify the moonshiner stuff.
I'm sure it would have come up.
All right, is there anything anyone wants to do before we sort of launch into a sort of final little town hall meeting and progress the story to introduce the new character? Anything anyone wants to do over these 3 weeks?
Cast Find Familiar.
I think I've done everything Hecate wants to do.
All right, your PC casts Find Familiar.
I would like an owl.
Boring.
You get an
Not
owl.
that I'm going to complain.
Regal is a very majestic animal.
It sounds like a turkey.
What are you, a turkey?
He said eagle, right?
No, that is
I
not what he said.
regal, as
Oh,
in the name
regal.
of the creature.
I heard eagle.
Well, then you should clean your ears out.
Eagle. Could we dig a well too?
I'm gonna say, yeah, you're near a river. That should be enough of a water table to find a well, right, honey?
Yeah, depending on how high we are.
You can go a little further down. You guys are on a bunch of hills, which is why this town has survived the melts. But you can go a little further down the hill, and within not too far of a walking distance, you could drill a well.
Okay.
Alright, so we move into. It's been about 3 weeks, and the monthly town hall has come up. This is a chance for local citizens to petition the government and or present ideas. So, Tafina, as the brand new mayor, how would you like to start the meeting?
All right, everyone. This meeting comes to order. It is the mumble date. So, any new business?
And you find a couple hands raised up, including a few hands on the council members as well. Where would you like to begin, the people or your fellow council members?
I will start with the people and work in a clockwise motion so that everyone is fair, starting immediately 12 o'clock from my position.
Okay, who is on this side? Alright, so 12 o'clock. Jorny is going to put his hand up and say, "We should build a wall! I like how you're building houses and stuff, but we really need to build a wall to keep out any monsters or savage animals that wander in."
Well, that is an excellent idea. Currently, our resources are limited, and having shelter that prevents animals from coming into the shelters is slightly better than having a wall and having people freezing outside. Once we have shelter for everyone, by all means, we will be constructing some sort of defensive fortification to limit access to wild creatures, and we will be, certainly currently holding a roaming patrol to defend the borders of our town.
Alright. He'll just sit down. One second. Oh, Hugh will stand up. He's right over here. And he will say, "While we wait to build a wall, I suggest we set out a bounty for dealing with these creatures, be they bandits or bandits, cultists, or deadly monsters, to at least weed out the population and discourage anyone from approaching the town." Like a bounty per head, yeah.
I will certainly glance at my treasurer and confirm that we actually have some sort of loose fund structure to allow us to fund this endeavor.
And Palmine will look and sort of slightly nod. "We do have some funds for this endeavor temporarily, of course, provided the benefits from the capital come in.
And I would say that we would be totally willing to look into providing some sort of monetary compensation for a group to deal with it. However, we must look to our immediate protection first, and I can't authorize any of our current protectors to go out and do that. But my friends here could, for example, because they are adventurers and not necessarily beholden to this town, could take it upon themselves to do so, and I would be willing to offer them fair compensation once they had completed the task.
You're here? Seems that the rest of the town is sort of in agreement.
Gotta love being a politician. The only creature who can sit on the fence with his ear to the ground and lean both directions.
Oh, Terrain stands up and says, "Well, I'm glad the new homes are coming up. There is a desperate shortage of supplies. I suggest we also raise the bounty on anyone who finds any leftover building supplies in the region and brings it to the council."
That certainly seems like an interesting concept, and we will take that under advisement and potentially raise something. And instead, I would gladly raise, uh, raise knowledge that someone was able to secure such goods for us. We are in need of any such resources available, and as such, hopefully, we can get that.
And one last one. Oh. 1 second. Kadika will stand up and say, being that his noble highness Bion is providing us so much aid, I suggest we swear an oath of allegiance to crown and country and have a day of mourning and celebration for a day of mourning for King Ramon and a day of celebration for the ascension of King Bion. Delayed, of course, but with all the chaos that was going on in the beginning, we cannot, we can just have it now.
Yeah, that seems like a reasonable idea. We have a day of rest and acknowledgement of the passing of the old monarch and the induction of a new one.
Thank you. Tafina, you have been most wise. And then he will sit down. Okay, so moving forward, I'm going to say, crap, I forgot this NPC's name for a second. Sir Brenna Steelcrest will pop up and say, "Security is of utmost importance. I suggest we begin recruiting more officers for the constabulary."
Who's the current
different what?
head of that, or is there that?
There wasn't really a head of that at all. There weren't. It wasn't necessarily an official. There was one or two people who would do it almost part time, but most of the time it was collecting the local, dealing with the local drunks getting into a fight.
Well, I have a feeling that we should nominate Urag to do that. He seems like he understands the criminal mind.
What do you mean by that?
You know how they think you can catch them.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never really interacted with criminals at all.
Exactly. You have no preconceived notions.
Wouldn't it be better for someone like yourself with your, deep knowledge of bureaucracy and procedure?
Oh, I know procedure and law, but no, we need somebody, who
And guns, your
looks
knowledge of guns.
someone who looks the part as well.
And
Are you saying you don't? My
He's-
man, my
Kevin-
boy, you've got such a rugged chin and appearance.
There's no chin, and his chest literally goes in. He has a concave chest.
Okay, John Oliver?
Yeah, basically.
and actually, as a part of our own history, there was something called a thief catcher in England. I think there were in other places in Europe as well, which basically just became other criminals ratting out other criminals. And, they would do the stealing, but then blame it on another criminal and catch that criminal and get loads and loads of money.
Don't give Brendan ideas.
That
Oh
was
no,
a
give
thing.
Brendan ideas.
Yeah, a thief catcher is totally a thing, and there was this one dude who was a master thief who was also a thief catcher. So basically, him and his crew would go around and steal, and then they would either catch the person who did it, who was a rival, or B, they would miraculously find the item the precious item that was stolen, and then they would be given a finder's fee for returning it.
There was a dollop on it,
I know. That's where I got the idea.
but I can't remember the guy's name. Oh well.
It was John something or other.
John Smith!
It wasn't John Smith, though.
See, it's already a reg.
That could be something you would want to pursue, Urag?
I'm okay. I think someone more involved in government should be doing that.
Yeah, I was suggesting that maybe I could take over the
Kevin.
network portion of it and have minions go out and do the grunt work, and then when needed, I could join them, but that would be in dire straits.
Well, I couldn't do it. I don't have that air of authority. Like here's my stop voice.
Speaking
Stop!
of air, isn't there a certain person here poking the invisible person who's not actually here, who's got a great military tradition in their family?
We don't believe Arcady would be up for this.
Yeah, respectfully, I'd prefer to have someone who could be here all the time. I assume you guys are going to be going out and doing important stuff.
Like saving the world.
As heroes do.
Yeah.
But
no.
remember, all that treasure is taxable.
What are taxes?
Oh, I have a wondrous story to tell you when we're done.
Oh, Urag, don't get him started.
But that was the whole point.
Taxes are wondrous, splendiferous things that help the world
I
and
can
the
cast
everything
silence on
move.
Kevin.
Oh,
Do you still go, not realizing it?
I'm still talking for a few seconds until I realize it, and then it just gives the look of, oh, hardy har har.
That is fantastic.
Thank you.
Hecate will nod and just, proceed. Let's get this council over with.
And with that, there's not really any more townspeople, so it comes back up to the council themselves. And if you're going in a clockwise position, Palmine says, in addition to trying to start farms, I would request us to put forth a bounty on anyone who can find ancient farming lore. We didn't really farm much up here because most of us, there was a giant glacier in the way, and most of us focused on the ice trade. Or hunting and trapping and fur selling, and the odd treasure seeker. We need to figure out what the previous soil was like and what is good to grow here.
Well, I mean, one of the major problems we have right now is a severe lack of funds, which would prevent us from doing a lot of these bounty hunting things. To that
Bounties can
end, though, I would.
be bounties can be other things. It could be extra food, extra rations, some rum.
That's the same thing. These are all consumables.
And my goal right now is to make us as self-sufficient as possible. As such, I would certainly be willing to pay reasonable rates for any such information, but would prefer we could get possible sources of it without having to worry about paying for it, such as asking for information from the capital. They should possibly have records of this, right, Kevin?
Of what the soil was before the glacier's thousands of years old.
Yeah, the
There
glacier
What?
is
obviously
1,000 plus
information
years
everywhere,
old.
doesn't it?
It does, but this country isn't thousands of years old.
I thought the
It's about
government was
1,000.
infallible. Wasn't the government infallible, Kevin?
Well, infallible might not be the right word, but always right is. But no, this is more a lack of knowledge less than being wrong.
Isn't not knowing being wrong?
No, because that would mean I was wrong.
You're gonna make his head explode. Leave him alone.
No, I was gonna say no, that would mean we were wrong for bringing you. But that's too mean, so I don't say that. But no, that information most likely doesn't exist. Maybe for the surrounding area, but I brought books on law and code and not farming. Maybe someone has a farmer's almanac?
And have you ever actually looked at a farmer's almanac?
Nope. I know it's
You have
all bumpkus, though.
No, it's all based on records and science.
It's guessing. It's
It's
bumpkus.
What makes you say that,
it's
Ian?
educated guesses based upon precedent of history.
Because the last
Because
time
they
I
have
looked it
records
up,
going back centuries.
they have an atrocious record, like, of being completely wrong.
We blame climate change for that. It's usually what happens when a giant meteor explodes over an area. Messes everything
Yeah,
up.
you guys really should be buried under at least a foot or two of snow right now, and you're not.
Anyway, so I believe we've set up that we want information that we're willing to pay a reasonable rate, but we are limited in funds. We're willing to send people out to hunt down the bandits and such to make the place safer, but we are limited on funds. I'm not sure what our working budget is right now, but we are willing to work. We have a setup for what we want to do going forward, with an emphasis on establishing ourselves as self-sufficient in regards to food, and then self-sufficient in regards to defense, and then from there into branching into other works of infrastructure to allow us to maintain and expand upon those self-efficiencies.
And with that, Palmine will nod, think for a moment, and say, I will gladly offer some potions of healing for this information to anyone that can bring it forward. I can, with my druidic powers, I can experiment and see them to be whether or not it's truthful or workable in our instance, and give them a potion of healing.
I have a question.
Yes?
Is Greypaw level 5?
Yes.
He's been He's been cooling his heels this whole time.
He's been working with Palmine to experimenting with zombie rats.
Greypaw casts a level 3 druid spell, Plant Growth?
Awesome. And wouldn't
No, that's
Greypaw been
not.
making Goodberry this entire time? He needs one. He can make like 50.
Oh no, Greypaw at this point probably left the town because he's all like self-sufficiency.
Self-sufficient me!
Doomsday preppers are weird.
I have been watching nothing but homesteading videos during this quarantine.
Oh, so we know who to raid when it all comes crashing down.
Your wife, who lives in the same apartment as you?
No, the people who are homesteading.
It's a house.
Ah.
I have a garden. I have seedlings.
Is it actually outside yet?
Ian has built me the first garden bed, and I was able. We have 2 garden beds out there right now, just getting ready, and we have some wood to make some more.
It's been cold this week.
It really has. I was hoping to start hardening off my seedlings, but it literally snowed yesterday, so no.
All right, so
Kadra will raise a hand and say, I know we have already prioritized food, and I know that there's more coming from the capital, but I would like to open up my own coffers to do a bounty for food. I will gladly pay 1 gold coin for every pound of food that someone is able to find locally and bring back to Tomar's Crossing.
I believe that would be a good thing, and I would fully endorse that. Would be for use for the entire town, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Then I would fully endorse that. And if you're willing to put up the funds for it, I would make it be an official town and acknowledgement of your personal sacrifice in this matter.
Thank you so much. And Salmith will come up and say, I can, as the local lumberman, I would like to, I have already been assisting in finding wood and other building supplies. And I also support Huberg's bounty on evil creatures idea, and I will help subsidize the bounty. I don't have much gold, but I can do what I can. Everyone heard me that last time? Did I?
Yep.
Yeah. I can't think of anything in response to that.
Same.
So we should go. I'm whispering this to Kevin and Heke, who I assume I'm saying. So we should go like get some bounty, right?
Guess
We should go like that helps the town. It gets us gold. That sounds like a wonderful idea.
You just want the gold. But yes,
No.
we're not adverse to helping the town. Because Hecka's probably going to put her money right back into the town anyway. Just give it to the church or something.
Yep, goes right into the economy.
You can like spend money on yourself to go into the economy.
We will buy what we need, and the rest shall go to the church.
All right, so which one are we doing? Are we finding food? Are we going after evil giants? Are we...
Well, in the immortal words of a small child in a taco commercial, why not both?
There was also other stuff, too.
Why not them all? Maybe you'll uncover some of these in your further adventures.
Yeah, Hecka's down for doing all of it. And helping the town, right?
Yep, which one first? Food, probably. That's the...
Yeah. I think that's the most pressing one right now is getting food for everyone.
Alright, so where are we gonna find food? We'll pull out a map of the area.
You know that from your previous adventures, you've already sort of went through a couple areas and picked up food. You're not quite sure where else to get it from at this time, but you can just go out foraging and see what happens.
Yep.
As more and more of the
Sure.
ice has melted, ancient ruins and other structures have been revealed, so you don't know what's in there, or what people are in there as well.
So we go out and scout around.
Let's go spelunking.
Okay, so it was already the village meeting happened later on in the day, and you guys go to sleep. And in there you have a dream.
We all had the same dream.
You do?
Can we see each other in the dream?
No. Or yes. Why?
I don't know, it's more interesting than my normal dream. Usually I'm filing.
And I actually got a picture for this one. You recognize Ferrier the Wise. She was the ghost druid you met in your first dungeon that had been captured by Ralakai, and gave you some backstory as to the Demonplague. She comes to you in a dream saying, thank you so much. With Ralakai dead, my bounds, the bounds he put on me have been undone. But then her face changes and she gets more serious. She stares you long and hard into each of your eyes, and she is suddenly deadly serious. I have studied the ritual used to create Zancrown's dungeon and the Ice-Tongue Glacier for quite a while I've been in bondage. I have discovered that it can be altered to kill the demon. I've known this for a while. Originally, we thought that the beast trapped under the ice was enough to protect the world. But as you can see, it is not enough. The plague demon has been stirring, and now we can get close enough to him to use the ritual. He must be put down before he can unleash his plague on the Luna Valley and the world. In my spectral form, I don't stand a chance of succeeding. But are you with me still?
We are with you. What do we need to do?
She'll look at each and every single one of you. She'll nod in confirmation. She'll look to Urag next. Are you with me, Urag?
I suppose.
Are you with me, Tafina? I know you cannot go out adventuring anymore, being mayor, but you are the protector of the town.
Yeah, I guess I would. I mean, I'll do everything I can to help.
That is all we need. And Kevin?
It would be a dream.
All right. I have a plan. The ritual itself has 8 parts. Each component is related to each of the schools of magic. And each part of the ritual has a material, a component, and a word of power that goes along with it. I know how to modify the ritual to kill Zen Crown. And I can explain to you mostly how it works. However, the rest of the information on how to do the ritual and the locations of each of these components is split upon the other members of my druid circle. Minas Herion. We we fractured the ritual in our own minds as we lay dying, so that if someone were to resurrect us and torture us, that individual would never have the full ritual. You must seek out my compatriots to discover where the material where the material component is, and the specific verbal component, the word of power required to complete the ritual. I can sense my fellows in this valley. You must seek out Targanoth the Brave, Melgar the Quick, Elial the Learned, and Nala the Gifted. I know that Targanoth the Brave is in Ilshara's retreat, and I can point you there. And she will actually take out like a map of the valley and point to it, and I'll show you a map later. That is probably the best place for you to start right now.
I guess we head there.
That would be a good start.
Let's go.
Thank you, and good luck. And with that, she will fade, and you will and you will go back into a regular dream. Kevin, you resume filing.
Oh, no. You have to collate this.
Oh god, it's a nightmare. Now my hands are suddenly stuck in collating machines.
I thought you said they didn't follow the Dewey Decimal System.
Well, isn't collating just putting things in a specific order?
Exactly.
Doesn't have to be in a Dewey order.
And the next morning, you guys wake up full of determination, ready to go and find Ilshara's retreat. But then you notice that the bureaucracy has arrived. And Lauren, would you like to introduce your new character? You come into this town, and it is in a terrible state. You see refugee camps everywhere. You have been living hard this whole time, far away from the big city. Even though I'm not sure your character likes the big city, but please introduce your character.
All right. So, for those paying attention, you see a average height elf, pale grayish skin, white hair, dark eyes, and he seems to have, wearing all dark clothing, has a hood up over his head, and he has a rapier at his side, and appears to not be wearing any armor whatsoever, just good quality traveling robes that seem to have seen quite a bit of use, but are in good condition. He's very purposeful, seems to be walking right towards the three of you, I guess, because Arcadie's not here.
Arcadie went to find this column and is returning with you, but he just looks tired and doesn't say much.
You must be Hillman, you must be Renko, you must be Hecate, and you must be Ureg.
Right.
And we are.
Busy, I think, right?
You seem to be the only ones getting any work done around here.
Well, we try. We contrive to better ourselves.
My name is Fakalin Rothanol. I am here to assist. I'm here to make the problem go away. By any means.
I'd like to introduce you to the problem, and I'll push Kevin forward.
I'm well aware of that, yes. I'm referring to the big problem.
Oh
This
no,
one is
he's
a minor
huge.
annoyance. You just ignore him and he goes away.
Oh man.
That's not true. I've been here this whole time. Wait, is anyone listening to me?
Do you guys hear something?
Am I invisible?
We are listening, Kevin. Just sometimes we choose not to.
I'll do the will my hand go through it, but I'll poke or egg.
I've heard talk of demons about. It's not something the bureaucracy wishes. They sent me to help. I'm here to see it go away.
Excellent timing. We were just on our way out to try and do that.
The good news is I've read all of the reports of Master Renko here, so I know all of you, I know what you're capable of, and I will be able to fit in quite well. I have memorized all of those reports.
Good for you. Is there anything else we need to accomplish before we leave for the valley? Or retreat, sorry.
Do you guys, are you guys telling, this new character about the, going to the retreat?
Well, Arcady had the same dream as us, right?
Yes, Arcady would have had the same dream.
So
I'm talking
Hecate,
especially about
24
Fakalin.
hours. Which
yeah. But Fakalin just said that Arcady had given him all the input and all the updates. So Hecate is working under the assumption that Arcady's told him everything.
I don't know. Would Arcady have told him everything? What do you
We
think?
don't know. He's not here.
Yeah, we don't know if he's
Arcady
not here.
wasn't the one who told him everything. He just was able to read all of Arcady's reports. That is what he said.
Ah, my bad. I misunderstood.
Yeah, so you would know that there's... I'm going to ask you this as a character. Are you allied with Stanislaw Severin, or do you oppose him? That's Kevin and Arcady's boss back in, the capital.
I'm not here on his knowledge. He does not know I've read the missives to him. I am on orders from someone else who realizes there's a problem and it needs to be fixed.
Oh, how did you gain access?
You know my background.
I know your background.
That's they had their hand in everything. They
Oh, great.
intercepted, they read it, and they passed on what information needed to be, and might have censored some of it to not started a panic.
Ah, I see.
Well, either way, whether we tell him or not of what's going on, are we really going to turn down an extra pair of hands on this?
Yep.
What are your skills, Fakalin?
I'm well acquainted too with arcane matters, and I'm very handy with my blade. I've learned to mix both skill sets into a form of combat that is quite effective, I've found.
You sound very sure of yourself.
Let me just double check what was required for this. I just sort of mumble and gesture at you, and you feel something tapping at your shoulder.
Yes, mage hand. Very impressed. I
Are we
assume it's
done?
maintained.
Are we done with the measuring contest, gentlemen?
Ah,
Are we heading out now, or are we going to sit around and
That's what Hecate's trying to figure out. Are we
let's
like
go.
All right, with
Which
that,
Hecate is it?
winter?
and with that, I will end the stream for this evening because I want Patrick to be here for the next little bit.
Okay.
And with that, I will end the stream. I would like to thank everyone for watching. I would like to thank DMC Crimson for chatting in the chat. He is on Jingo's channel tomorrow night playing Deadlands. And give me 2 seconds. And I would like to thank our watchers. I would like to thank Soylent Plaid. You can catch us also tomorrow playing Red Hand of Doom. And then I would also like to thank Commander Root, Community Showcase, and Eraser TX. Thank you for watching. Let's see who is available for us to raid.
Well, that was good.
Diesel Shot is available, so let's go raid their channel.
Nighty night, everyone.
Nighty night.
Good night.
Nate?
Play Fallout.
New Vegas.
Survive the
76.
apocalypse.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Is Lauren still there? Or did he sign off already?
I'm still here. That was Brendan.
Oh, that was Brendan. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if Hecate's gonna like Falkland.
He's very much an the ends justify the means person. However, the whole bit that he knows everything is quite literally because he has the keen mind feat, and he's literally read all of the reports again for a refresher in the last 30 days, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like I love how you're playing him, but I don't think he's gonna get along well with Hecate.
At least